रोशनी का कारवां।
This podcast is brought to you by Barrier Break Solutions Private Limited and Score Foundation.
ये है रोशनी, रोशनी, रोशनी का कारवां, रोशनी। Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां।
Hi, my name is George Abraham and welcome to Eyeway Conversations. My guest today is a young IAS officer, Pranjal Patil. Hi, Pranjal, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So, Pranjal, you are a DM of District Shahdara in Delhi. Tell us a little bit about your work as a DM.
Major portion of my work at this moment is COVID management. Right now, we are doing the vaccination in mission mode. Of course, many people are coming forward on their own, but there are many pockets in my district who are resistant for various reasons to take vaccine. So I am focusing on those people who don't want to take vaccine, going there, persuading them, doing the counseling, and I'm getting wonderful help from World Health Organization as well. And also it also includes testing. It also includes making containment zones. Then there are many other things which District Magistrate is, an authority. So right now, just before this interview, I was looking into the cases where we know that sex ratio in our country is not very happy compared to boys. Girls are lesser in number. So as in Delhi and so as in my district. So I am focusing on that how to persuade people. And of course, there is law. Sex selection is not allowed. But along with enforcing the law, how we can do things at the social level, what kind of awareness we can spread at the social level. So I was just having a meeting with my doctors and gynecologists. Basically, District Magistrate is the administrative head of the district. Whatever problems are occurring in the district, whatever challenges are coming, whatever government's projects are coming down to the district level, District Magistrate is supposed to implement all those programs, resolve the problems, look into the things which come, kind of miscellaneous kind of work.
I believe you as a visually impaired person, there is an additional dimension to your work. Are there challenges in terms of how you deal with people, how people respond to you, in terms of the government giving you responsibilities? Is there any kind of special treatment just because you happen to be visually impaired?
We can't say that there is special treatment because obviously, like suppose now I am posted in now District Shahdara. If some problem comes here, which is like, let's say, which is very daunting kind of problem, but at that time I'm already there, right? So it's very dynamic kind of situation. So one can't think beforehand, let's give her a special treatment and let's hence post her somewhere in such a situation. So for example, before taking this charge, I was the sub-divisional magistrate of Vasantviha subdivision, that is in New Delhi district. So I was having this airport with me, like the jurisdiction of airport was lying in my subdivision. And when I was posted there, immediately after 2 weeks, the first lockdown was announced in 2020. And before that lockdown, all the international passengers, the international travelers were coming to India because flights were about to get, the aviation services were about to get closed. So now, even if somebody would have thought that let's give her some very good play, but now situation became so dynamic that no matter what issue or challenges I may have, I have to deal with the situation. So I think the administration is very dynamic. So in that way, there is no special treatment. And it's very good that there is no special treatment also, because then, as my colleagues are exposed to various kind of experiences, challenges, the same way even I am exposed as a part and parcel of my work.
If you know of anyone with vision impairment who needs guidance on living life with blindness, please share the Eyeway National Toll-Free Helpline number 1-800-5320-469. The number is 1-800-5320-469.
Now, I belong to Kerala, and interestingly, I believe your first posting as an IAS officer was in Kerala. Tell us something about your experiences in Kerala.
In 2018, I was posted in Ernakulam district of Kerala as an assistant collector. We know that Kerala is God's own country, but somehow I didn't go there before as a tourist, but I went there directly as as a responsibility related to work. And very surprisingly, I joined there in the month of May, and we know that in August of the same year, the flood happened, and flood of such a magnitude came after like 100 years, right? And Ernakulam is like it is a central district of Kerala. It is connected through airway. It's a railway junction also. So, in that way, a lot of responsibility came on the district administration of Ernakulam because of its location. That is number one. The second, it was also facing problem of its own because the water which was released from the dam, it came down to Ernakulam. So, we also have people who were displaced, who were like near the coastline area. So they had to be rehabilitated in some other places. So that was my initial 2 months, almost initial 3 months of the posting there. And the challenge of Kerala was for me because I am not from the place, and hence I did not know Malayalam. But because we talk to local people, we talk to everyone. We are supposed to talk to everyone. So English, though English is known there, but the language of communication is certainly Malayalam. And I was learning Malayalam, and I could learn also to a great extent. But the speed I couldn't match, and my half of the time used to go in telling people, padike, please slow down, please. And then, of course, Lok Sabha election happened when I was there. So that was another kind of experience, and I could learn a lot because I think the best system exists over there because, all schemes, how well they are implemented and how people are passionate, and the visitors who used to come to meet me with some petition, their petitions used to be I used to feel really wonder, and I used to really feel glad. So I was associated with one organization. They were working in the field of right to walk. So that right to walk, I was, they were really working for pedestrian rights. And then I worked with transgender community in the field of skill development. After this, I also went to Trivandrum. I went to Trivandrum. I was a sub-collector of Trivandrum because Trivandrum happened to be the capital of the state, and so it had its own problem, more people working outside India. Then hence senior citizen issues were there. So I really connected myself with senior citizens issues, and so that became my major priority there, apart from the work which I'm supposed to do.
Your job as a civil servant involves a lot of public dealing with people, and it's not common for people to actually interact with a bureaucrat who happens to be visually impaired. I would be interested in knowing, how did people actually respond to you?
I think when we are working, almost we forget everything because focus shifts to how to get work done quickly. And so I think so far response has been very good. And I think I don't think so, I don't know, maybe they must have noted in their mind or something, but nobody verbalized it that, it's something, something different. But yeah, they do come that we are coming to you with a lot of hopes, and please. So I think response has been so good, and so like we had to train them also. For example, if I'm going for some, let's say for field visit, and then I had to meet people also over there, then they try to be very like caring, but more than caring, they'll like, "Arey, aise mat chalo," whatever. Then we had to tell them it's fine, I can walk, and don't worry. And then I think in few minutes only they'll understand that how I want myself to be treated. So this is it's about public, I think. This, and also about our own staff, because even they haven't worked with someone who can't see. So even like they have to be like told initially that I want things in this way, and of course they learn very quickly. uh, I think response has been good till now.
Not everybody aspires to be a civil servant. When exactly did you decide that you wanted to be an IAS officer, and what was your journey?
I was always socially kind of oriented person, inclined person, right from my school days. Like we used to read, we used to discuss, and we used to think that what can be done about this issue. At that time, of course, there was a lot of awareness wasn't there how to do the thing, but we were affected by the social things. And when I went to college, to be specific about when I decided. So, friend of mine and I, we were just reading a magazine in our library, college library. So we just came across there is something, civil services are there, and you can do so many things through this profession. And it just came to our mind that let's try this. And in younger days, in college days, everything looks very like exciting. We just want to do everything. It's like very youthful spirit, very radical spirit. So that just as an information, it came to me during my college days. But obviously, I didn't start preparing from there, because I had to focus on my college studies, and that was a huge kind of work for me, because I was still struggling with knowing the computers during those days. I was still struggling with uh, understanding, improving my English those days. So I wanted to somehow, like naturally, it's not planned thing, but I focused on my college studies, and how I can do better at that time. And after then when I came to JNU, I did my master's in international relations, then MPhil, and then slowly I could gain a lot of confidence that yes, I know computer well now. My English is also fine. My command over subject, like the basic thing, I felt confident about. So then it came. Then it this thought started gaining strength that okay, let me just try. This can be done now, because let's try. So yeah, in JNU I started.
I've been to the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy. There are about 380, 400 odd people who were there for training. I guess they are people from different services. But what I wanted to ask you was that when you first went to the academy for your training, it was a huge crowd. How did you manage yourself there? How did you get to know people? What is your equation with your contemporaries, and how do you make friends? And how do you engage with your colleagues going forward?
Yes, so as you already said that LBSNA is in Mussoorie. So it's hilly place, and the topography is like a major thing. And so, though there are staircases and everything, but the topography itself is very uneven. So that is one thing. The other thing is like monkeys. Okay, so monkey was another challenge.
Yeah.
So what the training academy had done that they had given me one full-time escort.
Right.
Full-time means daytime, the entire like the day for the mobility. Because obviously, because that's something it's very difficult, and I think even if we walk with our cane, we can manage with the topography. But what's about monkeys?
Yeah.
So, and I was hit by monkey also, and without any provocation. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one thing the academy has done, and it already has this system in place that they do give the assistant like people, and then about it was very exciting phase, because suddenly, you have passed the exam, and so you are where you wanted to be. That's the approach of everyone over there also, that yeah, everybody is so excited. The training is very hectic in terms of it, because it does want to train us for doing so many things at a time, multitasking, how to manage time and everything. So that was there, like classes were there, there were extracurricular activities. I learned salsa there, though I can't say that I know it, but yeah, I tried to learn. Then there was like one foreign language, like French was there. So many such options were there, so it was very exciting. And in terms of making friends, like I did make few of very wonderful friends, especially we were some of us who were staying in the same hostel, so going for lunch, dinner together, and going for the, we must be knowing that there is something called Mall Road in Missouri, just to go there, eat
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Cinema, like going to cinema halls together. So it was wonderful experience. I won't say that I made so many friends. I made few friends, but I made some like amazing friends.
In your batch, were you the only blind or visually impaired officer, or there were others also?
What you mentioned about 300, 400 people, so that's our foundation course. And in foundation course, there are people from various services.
Right.
And then the next round is the phase one, where everybody goes to their respective academies of their respective services. So in foundation course, I was the only person who was visually challenged. And in my phase one training, my another other friend joined, who got delayed for some or other reason. I don't remember what was that, but yeah, in for my rest of my training, we were two of us were.
To support our work with the blind and visually impaired, you can visit the donate page on our website www.scorefoundation.org.in. Please note www.scorefoundation.org.in.
Changing track now, how did you become visually impaired? Was it something that happened at birth, or is it something that happened later in life?
I lost sight out of retinal detachment, and I was having specs, huge, like that big number specs, since so small. I was so small, and my parents could identify that I can't see properly or something. So I had specs, and doctors were told, we were told by doctors that I will lose sight someday. But they predicted maybe in middle age or something. But the process got fastened, and I lost my complete sight by the age of 6. And it was retinal detachment. Surgeries were done, but surgeries were not successful. So yes, I could. I learned the alphabets. I learned the numbers. I learned reading, writing till the age of 6 in the whatever script. And after that, I couldn't see them at all.
So tell me a little bit about your education, your schooling, and your college education. Which was the school you went to, and what college, what courses did you do, and where do you get the support from?
So after I lost my sight for 1 or 2 years, I continued in the same school where I was studying before. That was near my home. And the teachers and the principal, everybody persuaded my parents that I should be going to the special school. And since I was so small, and my vision loss happened so quickly, that my parents were also very much concerned, and for them my education was a priority. And obviously in Indian culture, we really respect our teachers and principals, and we find whatever they say is correct. So then so I was enrolled in a special school for girl child. in Mumbai, and that was Kamla Mehta, the other blind school. So I started studying there since class 4, and there only in class 4 I learned Braille. I learned to do things on my own because it was a residential school, and it was like so amazing. I'm like so thankful to my parents and to my teachers that, oh, great, I went to that school, because I made so wonderful friends there. I learned everything. We were taught dance, we were taught singing. Of course, I can't sing, but yeah, we were taught. I was also a part of rope Mallakhamb team. I performed in so many places. Rope Mallakhamb, it is kind of gymnastic. I had come to Delhi also through my school to represent my school in Rope Mallakhamb. Then our library was so good. It was in Braille. We read a lot. All of us, we were so fond of reading. We read a lot, whatever was available in Braille. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. And yes, we did study. But that was before the exam, and we had a lot of camaraderie. I learned a lot of camaraderie there. It's like if one of our friends is not able to understand something, it's our duty. It was our duty to let that person understand. So it was like so friendship bonds were so good. So there I studied till class 10. And then for my college, for graduation, I went to St. Xavier's, Mumbai. That was another wonderful decision of my life. And Xavier's was initially very difficult for me because I felt it was very different environment for me. I studied in Marathi medium school till my 10th. That was my mother tongue also. And then Xavier's was in English. So one was the language thing. Then since suddenly like the syllabus increased so much, in school we just have one textbook for one subject, and that was available in Braille. But in college, nothing was available in Braille, and I was so relying on Braille only. So I started writing notes, running notes in my class. But of course, it wasn't enough. Then I had to learn computer, and Xavier's has a wonderful center of resource center for visually challenged. There I learned screen reader software, JAWS. And with that, then so many avenues opened up for me. I started reading newspaper on my own. And yes, it was so wonderful. And after Xavier's, I came to JNU for my master. That was in Masters in International Relations. For that, I had to write an entrance. And in college, I was not so aware that why one should go to JNU, why like JNU is so good university. Nothing I knew, because in Mumbai, the orientation is not so much towards academics. It's towards media, it's towards corporate. So all my classmates, they were oriented towards various fields and not so much about academics. So I think I was only among I was among three of us were actually the one who came to JNU. And and then the experience in JNU was completely different. It was so enriching that there I learned a lot, and it was not so much about studies. I learned about various social issues. I learned about how, there can be multiple perspectives to look at one thing. I made wonderful friends there, and it was like amazing time in learning, in growing, in growing as a person. That's like most important thing, I think, and becoming like matured, socially more sensitive person.
Now that you are among the early IAS officers who are visually impaired, and maybe the government and the people around are kind of experiencing civil servants who are blind for the first time, do you feel that you have any kind of responsibility on your shoulders with regards to people who might be following you?
No, certainly. I think that responsibility somehow it's like naturally comes to us, right? Like, I think that consciousness is always there. And I remember not only in services, maybe when we go to college, wherever we go, I think somehow we carry that responsibility with us naturally. And in services as well, of course, like if I can perform well, then that confidence is gained that opportunity should be given to everyone. and like things should be inclusive, the system should be inclusive. So certainly I do feel responsible in making others understand, and not so much always by talk or dialogue, but also through action, by doing my work with utmost sincerity, with utmost capability maybe. Yes, so yeah, that responsibility is there.
Now, as a young civil servant moving up the ladder, what do you think would be your favorite or special posting?
Very nice question. So my present posting is very, very special to me, and I'm because I think in civil services, especially in IAS kind of job, is like postings are like field postings and office postings. So at the junior level, we get the field posting, because those, it's very important to be exposed to the ground level reality of the country, of the society. So and there is a lot of scope for working, and there is a lot of scope for direct impact. So I really thoroughly enjoyed my sub collectorship, my SDMship, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my DMship, and I want to work in urban governance as well. So after heading the district, I would like to work with the municipal corporations.
So, Pranjal, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much for finding the time. And I'm sure a lot of IAS aspirants who might be listening to this program would be inspired, and wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you for calling me here. Thank you.
Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां.
This podcast was brought to you by Barrier Break Solutions Private Limited and Score Foundation.
ये है रोशनी, रोशनी, रोशनी का कारवां, रोशनी. Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां.